All right, well, welcome to the R&R Show. Sit back and relax and enjoy the best little sports show ever. I'm your host, Michael Roope, and to the left of me is my co-host, William Rumsey. Hello, William.
Hooday.
All right, well, William, it's almost Christmas in March. We got one of my favorite days of the year, the opening of free agency. And, just like the past couple years, obviously, as Bengal fans, we always want to get our team better. We have a lot of guys possibly coming off our team via free agency. How do you see this thing playing out?
Well, I like to call this the season of hope. You got free agency paired with the draft, so teams that, everybody besides the Chiefs are trying to get to the top of the mountain. So, the teams start selling their fans on hope with free agent signings. Bengals, this is a big year for they're going to possibly lose a lot of talent that have, over the last couple of years has taken them almost to the mountaintop. So, we've got Jesse Bates, Von Bell, Jermaine Pratt, who else? Hayden Hurst.
Yep. And then you got P. Ryan. P. Ryan's out there. And then you got a couple possible cut casualties. But let's start with who you think on that list that we're going to lose and not re-sign. Obviously, Bates is gone.
I think Bates is gone. And just unless something crazy happens, but I don't see that. I think Pratt's gone. I think Pratt.
That Pratt's going to hurt.
He is going to hurt.
Yeah.
He's going to hurt.
I don't think Bates is going to hurt as much as people think. He was a great player and a solid.
I think Bates will hurt more than Pratt.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, here's the thing: is I just think, with what they've drafted, last year, I think their first round pick will take another step. It's just you're not going to be able to keep an all pro team. It's just really hard to do, especially with our big guys coming up for signing. So, not to say he wasn't a great player and a good locker room presence, but I think on the back end, just with Louis's defense and how he schemes it up, I just don't think it's going to hurt as much as we think because let's just face it, some of these, retreads that they've been signing have been looking pretty good in that backfield, in that secondary. Correct. I just think Louis's scheme hides a lot of deficiencies with people, so I just don't think it'll hurt as much.
Yeah, and that's, you can't sign everybody.
No.
And I think Pratt, you've got Logan Wilson coming down the pike on an extension. You can't have just a ton of your cap tied up in the linebacker position. It's not, don't get me wrong, I love having Logan Wilson. I think he's probably the better out of the two, but I don't know. Pratt had a great year last year, but I think Pratt and Bates will be gone. I hope they re-sign Von Bell. I don't think he's going to break the bank, per se. This would be his third contract. The Bengals don't like to throw a lot of money at those third contracts.
No.
So it just really depends on the price point.
I think he's happy here, and I think he'll take a cap, contract-friendly deal. Now, my question to you is, the tight end position seems to be a hot topic amongst, our group of friends. With Hayden Hurst, I think you and I are on the same thought process as far as Hayden Hurst. I think the Bengals will re-sign him, and I think he will be signing a contract-friendly deal too.
Yeah, because there are a lot of free agent tight ends. The draft is very, very deep, so it's supply and demand.
Yeah.
And I do think Hayden Hurst, he's bounced around to, his first round pick for Baltimore. He got kicked out by Mark Andrews, went to Atlanta, got kicked out by Pitts. I think he found a home. I think he likes Burrow. I think he likes the culture. So I think he will be back, and they'll pair it with...
Well, with maybe something a little bit down
the draft,
in the later rounds. Yeah, I could
maybe. If there's a guy there that, you and I were talking about it yesterday. I think if you look at the last 10 years with Brady winning championships and Patrick Mahomes, when they had Gronk and Kelsey, a tight end makes an offense, gives it that extra juice.
I say in third round. It feels right. Tight end feels right at third round. But what do I know? So, but, I just think Hayden's happy here. I think he brought the energy. I think he brought a little bit of a spark there. And I don't see any way we don't re-sign him. Now,
I think there is a way if his price. Look at C.J. Uzomah last year.
But what you said, there's a lot of free agents, and there's a lot of people, a lot of tight ends via the draft. So you accompany those. I just don't see that market really materializing for him. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I've been wrong before. So
we have?
Very rarely. But, hey, now let's talk about the players that we think should be cut. I will go first. I think Joe Mixon should be cut. There's a lot of red flags starting to pop up with Joe. He is, at some point you gotta think to yourself, when does the what's that old saying? When does the bark
outdo the
bite? Did we make something?
You can
up?
take a good look at him. What's the Tommy boy? What's the Tommy boy?
Well, I know what you're going for in the box with well, regardless, I just think there's too much stuff popping up on him, and what he's counting against the cap just outweighs his productivity.
The talent. He was a talented back.
He was
for the Bengals, but right now,
and I feel bad for him.
It's a bad timing. He's coming off probably his worst season.
Yeah,
he's had a couple instances where. Who truly knows what happened, but his name's been in the news twice. I really think, I don't know what the Bengals are going to do. I don't know if they're just going to outright cut him. They're going to offer him, just say, we're not going to pay you $12 million this year. Here's our number. Take it or leave it.
I could see that. And maybe let him see what his value's out there. Now, I do kind of feel bad for him because I don't think he's ever really had a fair shot behind a good line.
For sure.
And he is a dynamic player that can catch the ball out of the backfield. But I got to be honest with you. We're going to live and die by Joey B and when him throwing that ball. I just think what he offers and what P. Ryan's given us, I think the Bengals would be smart to sign P. Ryan at a very, very low cost deal. Mm-hmm. He isn't going to go out there and find anything that's going to give him more than what we are. And then I would be more inclined either to roll with P. Ryan or find, one of these other free agent backs that, again, won't break the bank. There's plenty of them out there. And, a name that caught my eye that I just don't think he would, break the bank at this point in his career is playoff Lenny. He likes to catch the ball out of the backfield. Now, he does get dinged up a little bit. But I just think, with his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, or even maybe, there's quite a few backs out there.
I think if they re-sign P. Ryan, I don't think they're going to roll it back the same as they did last year. No. I think if they re-sign P. Ryan, they've been looking at a lot of running backs in the draft. So yeah. I could see, I've seen a couple mock drafts of them taking Bijan Robinson in the first round.
Gosh,
I don't know that he's going to make it there. You just never know with the running back market the way it is. But I think there's a lot of good running backs in the draft too. So I could see them, if they can't get Mixon at a better cap number, they'll re-sign P. Ryan and they're going to draft somebody.
I just think you cut Mixon no matter what. And who
knows?
And no matter what, I think maybe you actually have swayed me because it is a deep class. Besides the uber talented Bijan. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of good depth that you're going to get in those second, third, and fourth, fifth rounds that, let's just face it, these backs, they're all really good that are getting drafted. It's just a matter of, the system and the people around them.
For sure. A lot of people now are pinpointing the Isaiah Pacheco pickup in the 7th round with the Chiefs. That's kind of an anomaly.
Yeah.
Typically, you don't have that kind of talent in the 7th round, but Bengals right now, they're in cap conscience mode. They've got to be aware, the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about is that Joey B contract that's coming down the pike in May.
It's bare minimum.
These contracts that Geno Smith, David Carr, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, and New York's getting, that is pushing the market for Burrow. That's why I'm kind of surprised. I don't know whose side hasn't come to an agreement on what the other side's offering, but man,
I'll just tell you right now, it needs to get done because every year it gets, as if you have to sign him this year, because then next year that number's going to go up even more.
Yeah,
it's just everything's escalating. The cap keeps going up, so the quarterbacks want more of that cap number. So he's right now just bare minimum as we sit right now. He's at least got to be 50, if not more.
Right,
50 a year.
50
I mean,
to
that's
60.
That's hard to think about.
I mean, if I'm Burrow's agent, I'm like, okay, here are the comps. Here's what these guys are getting. Here's what Burrow has done.
But I think Burrow also knows if he wants to keep the guys around him. I mean, it really, that thing has to get out of the way. Now, the flip side of that argument is, hey, we run this contract. I mean, you're going to get him signed, but the blueprint is already out there that these great quarterbacks, they get signed after that fourth year on that first year deal, or that first deal they got coming out of the draft. But it hasn't happened yet. I'm expecting it to happen. But the problem is he knows that these people are going to be cut back. Now let's just say he's going to play on this rookie deal again this year. We had to take advantage of it. Do you want to dip your toes into free agency, knowing that you're still going to have to pay him, but you move all your chips in and get a couple other key pieces?
I think right now is, I mean, everybody talks about the Super Bowl window, and then and then Burrow talks about the window is my whole career. But let's just be honest, in the history of the league, those big quarterback contracts are pushing teams down.
Yep.
You had Patrick Mahomes win this year. That's kind of the first one in a while that, well, I guess Brady won a couple years ago. But I'm sick of seeing a crap offensive line.
Well, tell me what you think about this. Lyle Collins, cut him? I think you have to, because he's over 30. He's now got, before he even got here, he had injuries. He didn't even participate in camp. Now he's not going to definitely participate in camp. He came out of the camp real rusty the first half of that year, and he graded lower than Bobby Hart. I mean, that's hard to fathom.
Bobby Hart.
I think
so his cap hit this year is going to be another $10 million. I think if he doesn't take again a restructure, because hey, if he's going to play for $5 million, bring him back, let him work his way back into it, and he'd be a really good depth piece to have.
Yeah, but I'm interested in getting this Taylor Lewin from Tennessee.
He's going to get paid.
I don't think so.
I think he's going to get paid. Oh, or you're talking about? I thought you were talking about Juwan Taylor. Taylor Lewin. It'll be like the Riley Rice situation. I mean, he's long in the tooth. Is he going to make it for the whole year?
Sign him. He's got that.
He does want to come to Cincinnati.
And I like that. I like that. Here's I kind of highlighted just a few guys that I like. I mean, I'm with you. You're basically stuck with your Jonah for one more year, so you're going to need to draft there. So,
I think they'll re-sign Jonah.
Not after this year. I think they let him walk.
You think so?
Yep.
He's going to be an R&R bet.
Well, I guarantee it.
Oh. An R&R guarantee.
Well, I just don't think. I mean, he is not. I mean, his PFF grade, Pro Football Focus grade, is bottom of the league. Bottom. But again, the Bengals have surprised us before when they re-signed Bobby Hart. Right. Bobby Hart was even surprised you're signing me to a big league.
I don't know. I've seen a bunch of different things about Jonah Williams. Like, the sack numbers are terrible, but you can't always judge an offensive lineman on his sack numbers because there's a bunch of different variables. They say he's an average left tackle. The question always becomes, who are you going to get to replace him? Are they going to be better or worse?
Well, I think redraft. I mean, you're stuck with him for one more year. You draft, obviously, at that position. So he can mentor. Obviously, we need depth, and I don't mind that, but I think Taylor Lewin. Now, the prize guy that I'd love for the Bengals to get would be Orlando Brown. Now,
right,
that's a pipe dream.
I think he's right at the top of our list.
And that's a pipe dream probably, just for the simple fact he is going to break the bank. But, again, it goes back to the window thing. I mean, can we give a very heavy guaranteed money for 2 years to Orlando Brown and see what he does?
I just think that if you look at how the Bengals are building their team, they're going to try to keep T. Higgins. They're going to hopefully keep Jamar Chase after Burrow. They're going to have to skimp some places, and unfortunately, it's going to be the offensive line. So I think we're going to be sitting here next year like, oh my god.
I don't want to skimp on that offensive line anymore. I just don't.
I agree.
If we're going to skimp somewhere, let's skimp on the defensive side and let's just outshoot them.
Yeah. I've thought about that.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
Well, let me ask you this. So, I mean, there's a couple other free agents out there that I think would work well.
Look at the Super Bowl this year.
Agreed.
The Chiefs.
Agreed. I agree.
The Eagles.
They had a couple pieces on the defensive side, and
they hit on their draft picks. Yeah. Their DBs. They hit on some draft picks.
What do you think about Bobby Wagner being in the stripes?
Just depends on the cost.
Again, yeah. I mean,
I saw yesterday he's been talking to the Seahawks again about potentially going back there.
And that's possible. I mean, people.
He played great again last year.
He did. There's a couple other guys I've seen, like James Bradbury. I mean, obviously.
Those are the guys, they're the older guys that the Bengals really don't focus on in free agency.
Yeah.
The Bengals are hitting those guys that are really, it's their second contract, younger, might be the second, third wave of free agents. They're not hitting the top guys in free agency. I don't know.
You know who I would like that I think would not cost you hardly anything, and that gives you a good veteran presence. He's seen it all. He's been under a winner. Is Kyle Van Noy.
Okay.
I like that fit. I think it would fit well in the locker room. I mean, the Patriot way. He's been around winners. He knows what it takes to win. And I think that would be a good presence, especially with Bates, going to the wayside. Just get another veteran leader. Now, he's a transplant. He hasn't been there from the beginning. But, again, a nice veteran presence that would, I think would, definitely the younger guys would lean on.
I like that. And I say that the Bengal way, the last couple of years, they haven't signed, maybe they change, give these guys that are a little bit longer in the tooth, give them a 1-2 year deal in this, what we call so-called quarterback rookie contract window. Maybe they just change things up. Like it sounds like, we talked about guys now want to come to Cincinnati and play.
And some of these older, longer in the tooth, they want to play for a ring.
And they've made their money.
They made their money. They want to play for a ring. And another guy that we haven't mentioned that I personally would like to see cut or definitely take a pay cut would be Tyler Boyd. I just don't think, again, his production is definitely not on par with his contract. If he doesn't want to take a pay cut, I guarantee we could get somebody like Bobby Trees in here.
He's already signed.
Bobby Trees? Who'd he sign?
He signed with the Texans yesterday.
Is this breaking?
Oh.
What? Bobby Trees?
You heard it here first.
Well, I like
Robert Woods, by the way. Bobby Trees is his nickname, but he signed with the Texans.
Wow. Yesterday. Well, they have nobody to throw to. No, because
Brandon Cooks.
Well, he's out there like shopping him.
Yeah.
Because they promised him he would live.
Well, here's the thing. Here are my thoughts on Tyler Boyd. If you're losing Bates, Pratt, and you lose Tyler, that's a lot of leaderships going out the door.
Lyle Collins. He was no leader.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I just think
where they ranked in the cap
this is a problem. Like Bates and Boyd were there before the Bengals started. It's just getting rid of those two guys in 1 year, man. I don't know.
I
think Boyd's coming back for another year.
I do too. I just think,
which I like.
I think this will be his last year here, though.
Maybe.
I think so. Quite frankly, it wouldn't be very smart of them not to get ready to groom another receiver.
He was balling in the AFC Championship game before he got dinged up.
Yeah, but man, I have like nightmares of him dropping that one easy one.
Oh, in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean that. And this year he had another one. I can't remember. It was like wide open. I'm like, oh my god. But again, that's nitpicky. Some other guys that I thought of note that were interesting, that's longer in the tooth that may fit our scheme. A little Sean Murphy Bunting, again, been around a winner.
Okay.
And these guys, I think, would, we've seen some people that maybe weren't as good on other teams i.e. like Eli Apple, but they fit pretty good in our system, and obviously Louis A knows what he's looking at, but besides him, a couple other names that I thought were interesting that may be a fit. Levante David.
Okay.
Again, a presence, it's been around a winner.
Yeah.
And he's a solid veteran presence. And then Leighton Vander Esch. Now, he gets hurt a lot, but he's got sideline
LVE,
a little sideline to sideline. I thought maybe, because we're going to need to put in a linebacker. If we lose Pratt, which all indications are some of the things he said publicly, they don't really want that in the locker room, and
he posted some things on Twitter, and then he yelled at Asai after that.
That's
bad leadership. What about the Bengals kind of struggled with sacks and pass rush last year. What about some guys like that, Yannick and I'm going to screw that name up.
Go ahead and go for it.
And Gukwe?
Oh, that's good. That's good effort. He may be.
Well, you go.
No, I won't pretend I'm going to be able to do that.
His name.
But what about like
Justin Houston, Melvin Ingram,
Frank Clark?
Yeah,
I think Frank Clark may be a good fit. Now, obviously, he's coming from the Chiefs, but Frank Clark is again. I don't think we have just a straight like how Von Miller, like the Bills signed him, like just a straight edge rusher.
Trey Hendrickson's great.
Yeah, but he's not just a straight.
I think Asai can get there.
Yeah, I think with another year's season.
Yeah,
I think he'll be motivated this year.
I'm high on Asai.
Oh, can we do a T-shirt on that?
We should.
High on Asai.
Yeah.
With a little Snoop Dogg there in the picture.
I like that.
Oh, wow, we got something.
But I think there's some pass rush juice, and they may go after that in the draft.
Yep.
But, that's something to consider here too. And again, these guys we're talking about, they're not really the Bengals MO. They're older guys. Yep. Justin Houston, Melvin Ingram were 34, and Gukwe. Oh God, there we go again. I think he's a little bit older. So I don't know.
But sign him to short deals, and the reason is because we know we have the monster in the room coming down the pipe with Chase, Burrow, Higgins. I just don't think we can do Higgins. I just don't see how it's going to come, but I could be wrong.
Who really knows what's going on, conversations behind the scenes, but my opinion, if they really want Higgins without having to give him that much, they can have him for the next 2 years. They have him this year under contract. They can franchise him next. Higgins is so good, and he's come up big in so many spots. I get it. You could probably trade him for a lot of pay,
But wouldn't you think it would behoove the Bengals to take a receiver, at least one in the first 4 rounds?
Yes.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Correct.
You've got to protect yourself.
This is my and I hate to talk this into existence. This is my thing. Second game of the Bengals this year, we've traded Higgins. Chase gets hurt,
which happened last year.
And then what are you throwing to?
Irwin. The crocodile. Yeah. Irwin.
Yeah. So I think the next 2 years you have Higgins. Now, will they re-sign him? What are they going to have to? Those receiver contracts. But I was reading something yesterday. They talked about the big receiver contracts that went out last year: Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. Yeah. They said that those might be coming back down to earth in the next couple of years, just because of supply and demand, and things.
I got to be honest. Tyreek deserves every penny. He changes everything.
So does Devontae. Yeah. I think he was just with.
He's a stud,
but
the
Raiders.
It's a different studdiest. Oh, a studdiest.
A what?
Studdiest. But he's a different animal, basically, because he just
the cheetah.
I mean, he's just so fast.
He's good.
I mean, speed kills. I mean, and that's why I was kind of interested in that Leighton Vander Esch. He gets hurt a lot, but I like the sideline to sideline. Mm-hmm. When you get fast people and you're just, instead of these plotters, another tight end that I wanted to get your thoughts on was Mike Gesicki. Do you think? Now, he isn't a blocker by any means, but he's, again, another guy that's...
I go back to what's the cost going to be.
I'd rather have Hayden.
I would too. Okay. I'd rather Hurst.
I just want to see what your thought was. Okay.
A couple years ago, it looked like he was going to be kind of a
But I think we need
one of the
more
top tight ends, but he just hasn't progressed, and I just don't think he's.
Well, and I think we need more of a Hayden Hurst type because you need a blocker in there. Because with our deficiencies in the line, and we talk about this,
and we got to bring
year.
back Drew Sample.
No. No, but and again, let me ask you this: I seen an interesting name on the, and I didn't realize he was a free agent. Was Michael Thomas?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he signed a long, big contract. Did they cut him? What happened there?
I think they cut. I don't know. I think he's still under contract. I don't. For the Bengals, no. Yeah. I just don't think he would fit into the culture. I think he's going to probably take a big money contract somewhere.
What about the San Fran tackle, Mike McGlinchey? Yeah.
Bring him in.
I think he would fit well.
I do too.
A Notre Dame boy, you know.
That's this offseason. I'm the most curious to see what they're going to do with the offensive line because they went in last year in the first couple of days of free agency. They got Karras, they got Kappa.
I think they're involving through the draft. I think that interior of the line is great. We got to do something again about the effing tackles. We're stuck with Williams one more year. Drop Collins. Before even Collins or Mixon get cut or anything like that, they were what? What were they? Sixth most? Fourth most?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. So if you cut some of that extra fat off, you can get something like this. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
I want a Super Bowl and I want it next year. And we have the pieces in place. We are right there on the cusp.
We are.
So, I mean, all right. So come Monday, obviously, is, our Christmas in March. We're excited. Tell us what you guys think on the message board. Who you guys think we should go after, and who maybe we should cut. We'd like to hear your guys' thought, and we'll bring this back around maybe on Monday we can.
We'll get after it on Monday.
Yeah, gun to the head. Do you think the Bengals make a move first day in free agency?
I do not.
Man. You know, I always like a splash.
You do. When those players start getting cut or like these talks, you're like, how about this guy for the Bengals? I love the enthusiasm.
I know.
But the Bengals just...
Well, what about Adam Thielen at a hometown discount? 4 wide?
No.
He's old. We got excited. White. We got excited about D-Hop. Yeah, we were like, oh, give up the second rounder. Let's get him.
4 wide.
Four wide. Let's just play. So, but again, tell us what you guys think on who you want to see the Bengals go after.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys Monday.